welcome to the Carbon Cardboard F1 Card Podcast. Nailed it.
Ooh, there we go.
With Bryan and Scott from the P1Castle. Scott, episode 50. That just seems ominous. Like 50 episodes.
That's a lot. That's halfway to 100.
The math checks out on that.
For those math inclined folks out there.
It'd be a little bit more impressive if we had been able to stick with this 2-week thing for, I think we said it was like Valentine's Day last year is when we finally got the first episode dropped. And it's always weird because when we record these is never the day that it releases. And especially
the next day.
Like, I feel like we're talking to everybody from either the future or the past at this point. Like, just hop in the DeLorean, get that thing up to 88 miles an hour. And eventually some of what we're talking about, whatever day you're listening to this, will be relevant.
We should try to sometime pre-record and talk about a race that hasn't happened and see how terribly wrong we are. We'll be like, wow, what a win from Max Verstappen. And it'll be like Lewis Hamilton won the race and like Max crashed or something.
Well, I mean, we kind of could do that because we're going to be talking about a race that we're not even in race week yet. So that's
true. That's true.
Peeling back.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're going to give our predictions. We can just act like this is what happened.
It is.
I like it.
If you say it enough times, you can believe it. So, all right, this episode, we are a couple of announcements. We're going to talk about some really exciting stuff coming up. What else do we got? We're going to talk about the Miami Grand Prix, the pick'em matchups.
That's right.
Some of your picks for this is a sprint race.
Yes.
Has Miami always been a sprint race, or has it been off on? I can't recall.
I think it usually has been. I mean, how many years has Miami been on?
22, 23, 24. This is the 22, 23.
It's been a sprint race at least 3 of the weekends.
I don't know if it was the first one. I feel like it's been the last few.
Maybe the first weekend it wasn't, and then they were like, "Oh no, Vegas is coming. We got to do something." Yeah. And they made it a sprint. So I think it's been 3 in a row.
So that'll be fun. And then
second sprint of the year,
and just some absolute nukes that have been sold through P1Castle Premium Consignment. I got to be honest with you, Scott. I trip up over that every time because then not only do I like get tongue twisted about it, I also almost use your old name like almost every single time.
Eventually, we'll be once we're like 4 years in, you'll have it like that.
I just have that like muscle memory twitch. I mean, I don't think I'd ever accidentally call you Pirates Card Castle again. Ooh. But that's the OG name.
Yeah, that's the way back.
And there's the name that shall not be spoken, according to people at Formula One. But yeah, P1Castle. All right, let's not bury the lead here, Scott. We want to get this show on the road, the way to Miami. Speaking of on the way to Miami,
we got a little bit of collab. That's right, collab. So our good friends over at AA Mint. So this is Aaron and it is his father, Mark, legends. Aaron, they've been in Formula One card hobby for a while. They have an epic card shop down in Miami. It's really close to the track. We've done a bunch of collabs with them before. Last year, actually, for the release of 2023 Chrome, we were down there. We were ripping. Hold on. Oh, sorry about that. So we were down there. We were ripping in front of a Red Bull car. We had a Red Bull car there at their shop, and we were ripping with that as our backdrop. So pretty legendary. Did some 2023 Chrome down there. The last time I was there was actually this past November. And I was there, Bryan, to pick up from another person the biggest card that we have ever sold in P1Castle Premium Consignment. And yes, I'm talking about the 2020 Lewis Hamilton Superfractor Auto that we sold for over $1 million. That card was picked up from a gentleman down there in Miami, and we figured, hey, yeah, AA Mint. We both know Aaron. Let's go ahead and let's do the drop, the pickup there, and then we watched over $1 million hit his crypto account. So yeah, pretty insane. And we're back there again. This time, we're going down for the Miami Grand Prix, which is this week. As of the time that this show is out, it's this week. And Miami Grand Prix weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're going to be down there a day early. This event is Thursday, the 1st of May. I think the event is going to start at 6 p.m. Eastern, live at the shop. You can come in. We're going to have giveaways. We're going to be doing trivia for folks if you're there. So if you're there live, if you're down in Miami, if you happen to be there for the race, come down a day early, come over, come hang. We're doing trivia. You can win packs of Finest. And then I'm also going to be doing a collab break with Aaron and AA Mint on Whatnot. It's going to be the first time that I've ever ripped live on Whatnot. We're going to be doing this on AA Mint's account. So make sure you check out their account over on Whatnot. I think we're doing 2 separate cases. So we're going to do a single case, pick your driver of Finest, another single case, pick your driver of Finest. And then we're actually going to be doing 1 case, random $1 wheel spins of random drivers. So it should be a lot of fun. Again, we're going to have giveaways on that live show as well. We're going to be giving away at least a pack of Finest to 6 different folks. So giving out a box. I'm going to have some paddock packs down there as well that we're going to be giving away. And then I think Aaron may have some other goodies for folks. So yeah, really excited for it. We're going to be bringing down a bunch of consignment as well if you're looking to pick up some big cards. But yeah, I'm excited. It's always a good time hanging out. Their shop is insane. It's like state of the art, one of the coolest shops. If you haven't seen it, make sure you check it out. But yeah, really excited for it. And we may have some special guest appearances, and I'll leave it at that, but we'll have to see how that goes.
Very cool. I can't really say it's a bucket list. I'd love to go down. I don't, anytime we go to Florida, it's to go to Orlando and Walt Disney World. So,
right. Exactly.
Can't say I've ever been to Miami. One of these days, I'll get down to the race and I'll have to stop in.
Oh yeah, definitely. Make sure you do.
Completely. I mean, related, but unrelated, but, no, I don't even know where I was going with that. Poof, out of mind. Yeah. So anyways, it is late when we're recording this. It's been a long day and we found some time to squeeze in a podcast. So apologies for the thought bubble that just went poof. All right. This thought bubble hasn't gone poof. Another announcement, and
big one.
Very, very, very excited to announce this one.
That's right. So we are proud to announce our newest P1Castle affiliate breaker. If you are a fan of the show, you've heard about him a lot of times before on here, and that is AJ from Hammertime Hits. So AJ, I've been talking to him for a while now on, his brake setup, getting everything going, and he's had a few breaks under his belt at this point. Actually, at the time of recording, he's got a couple. He'll probably have done some more by the time this podcast releases. But we are going to be officially bringing him on as a P1Castle affiliate. And all the folks we have: Justin Incident, CBC, Wilger, Formula Queen. Basically that P1Castle affiliate badge you see, that is my biggest stamp of approval I can give to folks. So if you're looking to hop in a break, obviously you can join in our breaks, but we don't run breaks as often as we used to, and we don't always have all the different types of products. We've got certain things, we don't always have every product. So make sure you hop in stuff with our affiliates. AJ, really excited to bring him on. He's a huge Lewis Hamilton fan, so it's been a little rough this beginning of the season for him. So go easy on him. Go easy on him. But no, AJ is great. I had the pleasure of meeting AJ and his wife actually last year at the Austin Grand Prix in Texas, and they're actually coming down. I just talked to AJ recently, and they were coming down for the Miami Grand Prix. They were going to come down for Saturday and Sunday. I told them about the event that we're doing at AA Mint, and he's like, guess what? Now we're coming down Thursday and Friday. So yeah, so they're going to be down there Thursday and Friday. We're going to hang out with him at AA Mint. We'll also probably see him sometime at the track on Friday. So going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, really looking forward to AJ kind of joining the P1Castle affiliate crew. We'll get him in the chat. And yeah, no, it's going to be fun, and looking forward to him pulling bigger cards than I do, because apparently that's what all my affiliates do. So yeah, make sure you check him out. He breaks, I think, exclusively on Whatnot. So make sure you check out Hammertime Hits on Whatnot.
Welcome aboard, AJ. This, if anybody knew, this was most likely going to happen. AJ is one of the one of the best in the hobby, and in a lot of different streams. Good energy, great setup. Like I've mentioned a couple episodes ago, at this point, I have the pleasure of being the first purchase at Hammertime Hits with a break spot, random team spot break of stake.
Let's go.
F1. So, marble stake. So congratulations, AJ. Glad to see it. All right, Scott, I did think of it. So Clay, SoCal slabs with Jaspys. Right. So I was thinking in my head, I was like, what the heck is there? Sorry, didn't mean to mildly curse there. The FIA would have bleeped that out if this was Max Verstappen. But he reached out to me because I mentioned that I'm going to be going to Disneyland coming up here. And as of this time dropping, I will be in Disneyland. Right. He's like, you should come by the shop to Jaspys. I was like, he goes, you're going to be really close. I'm like, oh man, I'd love to. I don't know if our schedule's going to allow for it, but he's like, tough. Well, it is tough. And it's going to be a hard sell to my wife and son to say, hey, we're on this really cool Disney trip. Do you mind if I just go across town, hop in an Uber and go to this card shop? They're going to be like, you can go to a card shop anywhere. So anyways, I just, that's what I meant to say. So that thought bubble went away. Right back.
There it is. SoCal Slabs. Yeah. Jaspys. They're great. Absolutely. If you can sneak over there, do it. Maybe you can lure your son in with some Pokemon that I'm sure they have.
It's funny. If it doesn't involve soccer, he's not interested in it anymore.
Well, I'm sure they got soccer cards.
They probably do have soccer cards. So I'll try that. All right, Scott, we have been talking a lot about the Miami Grand Prix. So we are going to go through the Pick'em Challenge. This will be race number 6 on the calendar. Let's look at some matchups. Then you've got your picks for the sprint race, pole position, podium, feature race, pole, podium, castle call.
There's a lot. When there's a sprint race, it's a lot,
It is, but it's what we're here for. So
that's right.
One of the last episodes we did, and it's hard to tell when it was because of the time machine that we're potentially in here, the time paradox.
I think it was last episode.
Yeah,
we looked at
last
the
episode.
recap.
So, Scott, we've got some inter-team battles here still. We've got the McLaren going against Alpine to kick things off here.
Yep. So we got Lando against Jack Doohan.
I mean, Jack Doohan is a shoo-in.
Oh,
Lando, how you doing?
Ooh, we've got Oscar again going up against his teammate Gasly. We've got George Russell against Liam Lawson. Kimi Antonelli against Hadjar. Battle of two, solid performing rookies so far. We got Max Verstappen against Nico Hulkenberg. Yuki Tsunoda against Gabriel Bortoleto. Charles Leclerc against Fernando Alonso. Lewis Hamilton against Lance Stroll. Alexander Albon against Esteban Ocon. And Carlos Sainz against Oliver Bearman. Now, I will say that last race in Jeddah, we had some of what I felt like were the hardest matchups to pick. Really, really close. And we ended up with someone who got a perfect score and then the highest average score we've ever had. Now we have what I think looks like you could go straight chalk on this. You could probably pick the entire left side. Literally just go down, pick all 10 on the left side, chalk it up. And I bet you we end up having some crazy chaos and, double DQ or something ridiculous. And it's going to throw everyone's picks out the window. But as we like to do here, Bryan, we like to give our 10 and our 1. So what do you got for me on your 10? Who are you putting 10 points on?
If I think at this point you've got to give the 10 to Piastri against Gasly.
Okay.
Even if Piastri doesn't land on the podium for any reason, I think he's still going to, qualification at the end of the race. He'll be ahead of him. So I think for me, that's my 10.
Okay.
My 1?
Yeah. Who's your 1?
I don't know, Scott. Who's your 10? Sorry.
Well, sure. 10. I mean, I think so. Like, listen, I agree. I think you can kind of easily slap it on there. I'm actually going to go because I'm all in this week. I'm going with his teammate, with the comeback city, Lando Norris. So you take one McLaren, I take the other McLaren. I mean, listen, McLaren against Alpine matchup, pretty chalky. I will say Max, I think, is also a good shout for a 10 here against Hülkenberg because, Max has been on top of it and Stake is just nowhere. But I really like Lando in Miami. I'm going with Lando for my 10. Who are you taking for your 1? And for your 1, guys, we like to try to be like, ooh, where could we maybe get an upset? And you throw a small confidence on them, but maybe you sneak one in. Who would you put a 1 on? Do somebody on the right side of the bracket.
Yeah, no. So while we were my camera keeps coming in and out here. Technical difficulties. I'm still here, just I don't.
We can hear you though.
Yeah. So I'll just be the disembodied voice here for a little bit until I get my camera fixed. Immediately, I went to the Williams and Haas. I think that's, to me, is the closest matchup between the cars there. And I think my 1, I think, is going to be Albon and Ocon. I think I'm going to give the edge to Ocon.
Okay. I like it. Now, it's funny because I'm actually doing it. We're kind of like in tandem here because I'm actually going with a Haas driver and it's not Esteban Ocon. It's Oliver Behrman, because Oliver Behrman over the course of the season, he's been really solid. Esteban Ocon, I feel like he's had the points finishes, but like Behrman has finished ahead of Ocon in a lot of races. And some of those races, they've been outside the top 10. But I actually think that Behrman is worth a shout here for a single point. So that's who I'm going to put my 1 on. It's interesting that we both took a Haas driver and we both took a McLaren driver for 10 and 1. But yeah, I like it. So that's what we got for the 2025 Miami Grand Prix in terms of the pick'em. Make sure you get them in. I'm actually going to post it up ahead of when I go to Vegas to make sure that it's up like well in advance for folks. So you can either do it early or you can wait until the end. I will say though, remember, you've got to have it in before qualifying. And so like, it's tricky with this, right? Because we're going to have FP1 and then we're going to have sprint qualifying. Then we're going to have the sprint race. So you can wait until the end of the sprint race if you want. I mean, and that may be a wise decision. You can see, okay, the race pace, et cetera, but you got to get it in right after, because if you're late on that 1 hour cutoff before qualifying, like, nope, it's disallowed. So make sure you get them in. But yeah, Bryan, let's go over, speaking of a sprint weekend, we like to make sure folks are aware of what's going on. Sprint weekend, different schedule. Can throw a spanner in the works for folks that are used to watching the races without a sprint. And it's in the United States. So it's not going to be super early in the morning. It's not going to be super late at night. We've got on Friday, FP1 starts at 12:30 on track action for Formula One. And then we've got sprint qualifying at 4:30 Eastern. Then on Saturday, we have the F1 sprint race itself at noon, and then qualifying for the race at 4 o'clock. So again, you've got to get your pick 'em in by 3 o'clock Eastern on Saturday. And then the main race is Sunday at 4 o'clock. Make sure you stay tuned. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff live at the track too over the course of the weekend. So watch our social media, especially if you're there at the race. We're going to have special giveaways for folks that come find us there at the race. We're going to be giving out tons of packs and merch and all kinds of stuff at the race. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Really looking forward to it. But Brian, let's go to the picks. And we're going to start with the sprint. So for sprint poll, I said earlier, when I put my 10 on Lando Norris, I said I was all in. And I'm staying all in. I'm taking Lando for sprint poll. I'm rocking it right now. This is the Lando McLaren jersey. I was wearing the same shirt last year in Miami on Sunday when Lando Norris won his first ever race. I think we see return to form. Lando was actually the faster of the two McLarens this past weekend in Jeddah, and Lando has not been good at Jeddah. Oscar is consistently over the last 2 seasons beaten him in Jeddah. Lando was actually the quicker of the two. Obviously, he put it in the wall in qualifying and made that mistake and, paid for it. But he was the quicker of the two. I think Miami is a sweet spot for him. I think we're finally going to get to some of the races where Lando's actually strong at. And I think he's going to have that week off. He's going to shake out the cobwebs, maybe talk to a therapist. I don't know. But he's going to get it going. And he's going to be ready. He's going to put it on pole in the sprint. And then when we head to the sprint race, we're going to see much of the same. And I'm going to see Lando Norris taking the top step, followed, I think, by Oscar Piastri, because I think the McLarens will be the form team here. And then I actually put George Russell on that sprint podium. I think Russell, he's been very impressive in qualifying so far this year. I think he does a good job in sprint qualifying. I think we see him do a solid job in the sprint race. Again, sprint race, you're not going to see any pit stops. It's going to be either the softs or the mediums all the way to the end. Russell's been doing a good job so far this year with the tires. So yeah, I think we see Russell in the third spot. Then we get to the real qualifying. And yet again, we're going with the same guy. Did I mention that I was all in on Lando Norris?
All in.
And my chat, they're going to obliterate me. Trust me. The P1Castle Legends chat is going to have a field day with these predictions. An absolute field day. Because I've been defending my guy Lando in the chat. And they've been massacring my boy. Okay. In the chat. And I just can't stand for it. And I'm coming out swinging. And I'm putting Lando on pole on the qualifying Saturday. He's on pole again. And then, you know what? When we go to the race, guess what? Lando freaking Norris. Top spot once again. And this time, I actually think Verstappen splits the McLarens. I think we go Lando 1, Verstappen 2, Piastri 3. And I tell you what, if we get that, do you realize that we will then have a tie?
I was going to say, I was doing the math in my head.
It will be a tie for the lead. Now, Oscar's won 3 races, correct? This year? Lando will have won 2. So Oscar will still be ahead on countback, but it will be tied. Oscar technically ahead, Lando, and then Max will be right behind them. Only like 9 or so points. How many points is he behind Lando right now? I'm going to check. We're going to go to drivers. What's going on? Can I look at the standings? Here we go. Results, driver standings. So Max is currently 2 points behind Lando. So it would be Oscar and Lando tied, and then Max would be 9 points back, which,
you're also, if Max doesn't get on the podium in the sprint
Oh,
race.
you know what? You know what? That's true. That throws it all out. Never mind. Forget everything I said the last 2 minutes, because the sprint race is going to change all of this, which means if everything comes to fruition, and you know what, listen, we're talking in the future here. The race has already happened. Lando's won. He took pole in the sprint. He won the sprint. He took pole in the race in qualifying, and he won. So there we go. Lando's in first place of the championship because he got more points in the sprint as well. And then Oscar will be in second. Max will be in third. That's what we're going with. And then we come to my castle call, bro. And I said I had Russell on the podium in the sprint, but in the race, I am saying that Kimi Antonelli is going to beat George Russell in the race for the first time this year. Now, I will admit, I don't know whether it's going to be based on Russell having an issue, Antonelli getting a good break, or Antonelli just outperforming him in qualifying in the race. But I am calling Kimi Antonelli to finish ahead of George Russell for the first time this year. Book it. Because we've already seen it. It's already happened.
I was going to say, you just, if this is from the future, then it's already happened.
I tell you what, if all this stuff happens,
Nostradamus.
I mean, yeah. Wizard. I'm a wizard, Harry. And if none of it happens, then delete this episode from YouTube.
Yeah, we'll see about that. The internet doesn't forget. I don't know.
That's true.
I can see a scenario where this just goes based on prior track record, literally at Miami for Lando. That's where he got his first win.
That's right.
I'm not as confident with you as you. I could see them flip flop.
I don't think anyone is.
No, I know, but I mean that's what it takes.
Is.
And as we've mentioned, even in the last couple episodes, it's still racing. Anything can happen. A DNF, a safety car. I mean, that was one of the reasons why Lando won his first race. Anyways, last year is safety car caught at the right time and was able to pit under it. He just happened to be the right place, the right time, and was able to build up the lead and kept it for the whole thing. So it seemed at the time very fortuitous, but you know, he also pumped in a whole bunch of other results last year. And at this point, we've got both McLaren drivers tied at 5 wins, which essentially has occurred in equal machinery, regardless of all the kind of garbage stats that have come out recently comparing Lando and Oscar. And Oscar looks like he's trouncing him because of, you know, his 50 starts to obviously Lando's over 100 at this point. But Lando kind of suffered with a pretty poor car until Oscar came around. And even in that first race, Oscar DNF'd. Like the first couple races in 2023, it was not good. And it took until Austria where they brought those upgrades. And what was that? Oscar either took the sprint win or came in second or something. That's when it was like, okay, maybe McLaren's here to stay, and they have been. So
that's right.
You're definitely the brains of the operation. I'm just the point guard, as we've talked about. So I can see a scenario, but as more of kind of predominantly of an Oscar guy here, especially with some of the CADs I've been picking up. Hey, I gotta go with my boy. I'm gonna go with Oscar.
I hear you. I mean, listen. At the end of the day, I think that right now Oscar has all the momentum, and Lando has the backwards momentum, right? Like he's got momentum going in the wrong way. He's spiraling. So I think the break, you know, and it's only a week off, but it's a break. You know, we had a triple header. The break is coming at the worst time for Oscar because he's got all the momentum, and it's coming at the best time for Lando because he's spiraling. So, I mean, just looking at that, I think, you know, it's a good thing that there's a week off for Lando. If you're a Lando fan, this is not financial advice. And by the time this is coming out, everyone, you know, they'll see this and they'll be like, Lando's going to crush it. But, right now is not a bad time to pick up Lando carts because everyone is, the Woody Buzz Lightyear meme right now.
I don't want to play with you anymore.
I don't want to play with you anymore, right? Everyone's going for Oscar, and we'll show you in a couple minutes here that a lot of people are going for Oscar, but a lot of people are picking up Oscars, and Lando's prices are dropping a little bit because I think coming into the season and after the first race of the year, folks were like, oh, this is Lando. This is Lando's championship year. Let's go. We're in. We're all in. And then as the momentum has shifted and as Oscar has, we've seen it in Vegas now, he's the odds-on favorite to win the championship. The hobby is shifting, and folks are not as confident about Lando. A lot of them are priced in and they're just holding on, hoping for their boy. But, a lot of folks are kind of just like, I'm getting rid of my Lando and I'm investing in Oscar, McLaren fans, right? A lot of McLaren fans that are kind of like, oh, I like both. They're going for Oscar right now. So, Oscar's market is super hot. Lando's isn't. But I tell you what, if Lando does what I know he will do and takes pole win in Miami, then also it's not like he just takes pole and wins a race. It's like, oh, pole wins the sprint, pole wins the race. It's like, oh man, now it almost seems like it's like, oh, just like this huge momentum shift. He'd be back in the championship lead, and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, hold on here. Are we as sure about Oscar? Are we as done with Lando as we thought we were? So, I think buy Lando while you can, because if he does what I know he will do, his prices are going to go back up, and it's going to be tough to pick his stuff up. But Oscar right now also, we talked about this on the last couple episodes, Oscar's market is super hype. And you even mentioned, Brian, you're like, yeah, it's kind of like people are baking in the championship for Oscar right now. And I'll admit, I think some of the sales we're seeing on Oscar cards are just through the roof. And if he doesn't come good and win this championship, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where people are going to be at. I think Oscar will have a chance in the future, of course, even if he doesn't win this year. We're thinking the Mercedes engine's going to be great. They're going to have a Mercedes engine. So who knows? Maybe they'll be one of the best cars again next year, and Oscar will have another crack at it. But yeah, going to be interesting to see. I think Miami is pivotal for Lando, though. I think if Oscar, if Oscar does what I know Lando will do, and Oscar takes sprint, pole, win, then we start sounding the alarms for Lando fans.
But let's also remember too, because the sprint race awards like 10 for first, and then it counts back. So even let's just play devil's advocate here, because let's say Piastri takes the sprint win, gets 10 points. Lando comes in second, gets 9. So that's a 1-point gain.
Yep.
Let's just say Oscar beats Lando. It's a 1-2 McLaren, and Oscar then gets 25 points to Lando's 18. So there's 7. So Oscar then, if the McLaren is the strongest car, he's only really looking to gain, 9 points is quite a bit. It goes from a 10-point lead to a 19-point lead. And then, then you have to then it comes into play if they're going to keep finishing 1-2. Lando would then need Oscar to have a DNF or 2, to be placing several places behind. So I really do think that this is kind of boiling down to a 2016 Mercedes season.
Definitely good. And go ahead.
I know. I was just going to say, it'll be interesting because anytime you've got a team with the 2 good drivers, and that's the back and forth, that's where we're going to have our popcorn out every time. The one other thing before we get to the cards here, Scott, is because what's what we do talk about here. I've been seeing a lot of things lately about, and I don't really get the whole media criticism of Lando. I don't know if it's a British thing or not, but it seems like he can do no right. The latest thing that I saw, which I thought was kind of asinine, was they compared Lando to Oscar to then Max, where they're saying, well, Oscar's got Mark Webber and Max has Jose, and who does Lando really have kind of in his corner to kind of keep him grounded? I don't know. Maybe Lando doesn't want that. Maybe Lando, I don't know.
Yeah, it's tricky.
He definitely does seem like he wants to do it his way. And he's mentioned times before, if like he's able to be champion, he wants to kind of do it on his terms. I just think the media is really kind of twisting that in a way that I think, to bring it back to the cards, that I think people looking to invest in Lando are a little uneasy about it because they just want him to figure it out. But like, we're all we're all humans at the end of the day. None of us have it all figured out. Most of what people have is a facade. It's like an act they put on. I mean, all these professional drivers, like, you know, Max would really love to say some things that is on his mind, but I don't think he doesn't want to get fined and penalized and thrown out of the sport. I mean, he seems like a grumpy old man most of the time, but I mean, he knows that his livelihood is being a Formula One race driver, and if he wants to be financially set for life, he's gonna toe the line, at least until he decides he's gonna walk away or take a sabbatical or join Mercedes or join Aston Martin, whatever he's gonna do.
I know there's a lot of rumors flying around.
I don't know. Poor Lando. Just give the guy a break.
Yeah. Well, I think, it's going to come because here's the thing. It's like when you're at the top, and especially when it's like one team, and, Max is hanging in there for sure. But like when it's primarily one team that we're seeing McLaren, like you referenced last or 2016 Mercedes, Rosberg and Hamilton, when it's one team at the top, the microscope is going to be on those two drivers. Everything is going to be analyzed. A mistake in qualifying. Oh, he's mentally weak. That's my chat was just blown up. Mentally weak. He's so weak, and mentally he has no mental. He's so weak, like nonstop, right? But if then he comes out in Miami and does what I know he will do, and goes sprint win, or qualifying win, pole win, then all of a sudden it's like, wow, look at the mental fortitude that Lando has to bounce back from crashing and qualifying in Jeddah when he was the faster car. He bounces back. He goes bam, 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 bam. And all of a sudden, he's got the momentum. And then maybe the pressure goes on Oscar. Oscar slips up. And then the media is going to jump on that. And they're like, oh, Oscar, he's young. He hasn't been in a championship battle before. And Lando, he was in a championship battle last year, and he's the experienced driver. Like, the media will shift and ebb and flow based on what happens. And right now, I mean, it seems like Oscar's got ice in his veins and he's just like on it. And Lando's made some mistakes. But people forget about Australia. I tell you what, if it comes down to, Lando winning the championship by 14 points or less, literally Australia will have cost Oscar the championship. So it was the first race, and since then, Lando's been the one making mistakes, so we don't think about it. But if all of a sudden Oscar starts making mistakes and Lando's doing well, it'll be right back there, and people will talk back and be like, oh, we look back at Australia, and, we saw the beginnings of him cracking. Listen, the media will write whatever gets clicks. But you called it 2020, 2016. I mean, it could be that they go 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, even with, whoever driver making mistakes, and they're within one race of each other. Right now it's 10 points. If they go like this all season, one DNF, one engine blow up, 2016 Malaysia for Lewis Hamilton. Without that, he wins the championship. So it could come down to one of those moments. Maybe Oscar gets a DNF from a mechanical failure or something, or Verstappen's it and pins him into the wall or something because he wants his buddy Lando to win so they can go clubbing. Like, I don't know. Like, we could see a lot of different scenarios play out. And again, I just want to see it go down. I want to see the back and forth, right? So I root for certain people, but honestly, more than anything, and you can ask anybody about this, more than anything, I want to see close racing. And I want to see close championship battles. So I am pulling for Lando, not because not only because I like him, but also because I want him to get that momentum shift back. Because then I want it to be, now Oscar's got the pressure on him. How does he handle that, and they go back and forth, and we keep this championship battle going the entire year. I don't want to see Oscar winning and Lando finishing second. All of a sudden, it's 10, it's 20, it's 30, it's 40. He's got a 60-point lead, and it becomes insurmountable. No one wants to see that. I really think no one wants to see that. Everyone wants to see us go down the wire. I want to see Red Bull's car after Spain be on it. And all of a sudden, Max starts winning some races. And then I tell you what, then throw everything out the window, because we have a 3-way championship battle if that happens. And I still think if Mercedes somehow turns it around, Russell could throw his hat in the ring. So I think we've got a lot to look forward this year. I think the card market is going to ebb and flow just like the media will. If all of a sudden, I tell you what, there will be no better buy in the entire world than George Russell right now. If that car becomes the best car after Spain and Russell starts to win, his market is so criminally undervalued right now. If he starts winning and he is in the championship hunt, anyone who's bought his cards over the past couple of months will be absolutely crushing it.
Well,
not financial advice,
but I don't know, Scott, like the last 10 episodes or so, I feel like our segue game has just it's like we've engaged DRS. It's just so much better because here's a George Russell card.
Speaking
of George
Russell,
you didn't even know that was going to be the next tile.
I didn't. I had no idea.
Well, you did, but
I did. But I, who knows? I know. Anyways,
you didn't know the conversation was going to lead to George Russell right before.
I had no idea. But like I said, if I know what Lando Norris is going to do and go pole win. No, I'm just kidding. But George Russell, we have a huge sale. P1Castle Premium Consignment. And this actually eclipses. This is our biggest George Russell sale of the year, because we had a Superfractor 2021 Superfractor PSA 10 autograph sell for $10,500. This one just barely beats it. 2024 George Russell helmet collection Pad Paraja auto redemption, sold for $11,000. So just barely beats that $10,500. I will say it isn't the largest George Russell sale of the year. It's the second largest that I know of. I mean, there could be some other private sales out there, but it's the second largest that I know of, because there was a 2020 George Russell flag patch dynasty that went for $15,000 very recently. I was actually bidding on it all the way up to $12,500 and lost it. But so we got on screen here a mock-up. I will also say this is not what the card will look like. This is I know for a fact, I can tell you guys for a fact, it is a different design than the stand. That's all I can really say. It's not going to look like helmet collection, non-auto, and then the autos on it. But that's the best that we can do in terms of making a mock-up. And I think it's a lot cooler to post something like this than the piece of paper, personally. And I think almost everybody would agree with me. So massive sale for George Russell. But like I said, if he starts winning races, I mean, this turns into a $20,000 card very fast if he all of a sudden is looking like he's going to win the championship. So that was a big sale. And then the next couple sales here, like I said earlier, Oscar Piastri's card market is hot. And we had the pleasure of consigning, for someone who hit this in a personal box at their LCS, the Oscar Piastri 1/1 Super Fractor autograph from Finest. This has now sold for $12,000, which is phenomenal. Epic sale. I'm actually very interested because right now the Lewis Hamilton is on eBay for $8,000 bid, and it'll go up well past that. I do want to see where it ends, because the Chrome Hamilton autograph went for like 31,000, 30,000, right around there. But I think that one will sell for much more than this Finest one. Just because the Chrome Hamilton portrait, or the portrait, it's just epic, right? With him sitting down. But the Finest Superfractor autos are beautiful. I'm really curious to see how the Lewis stacks up against this Oscar. And again, you'll have to take into account that, eBay fee and everything, like what the seller would end up getting from that sale on Hamilton. But yeah, 12,000 flat, 12,000 even on the Oscar Piastri. And that's not even the biggest Oscar Piastri that we've sold in the last week, because we have one of his.
One second, though, Scott. Unpopular opinion here.
Ooh.
Hot take. I think I would prefer this autograph to the base autographs that are in chrome. This design, I feel, is superior.
I agree. Not for Lewis, but for most drivers, I agree.
For most drivers, yeah. The Lewis one, he looks like he's, he looks like he's resigned to the fact that, the Ferrari isn't maybe is going to be as good as the Mercedes was.
Well, the Lewis portrait is just so good in chrome.
Yeah, but I mean, this just, I know it's not for everybody, but I just can't get enough of finest. The more I see it, the more I have it in hand, the more I'm chasing my rainbows of Oscar 8, 108, and 208.
Superfractor collections.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to complete the 208 rainbow, because I don't know if I'll ever get my hands on the 208 Superfractor, but I am actively looking for card 8, which is the common, and 108 uncommon. I think I did a spreadsheet earlier, and
oh baby,
I think I'm red, black, vapor, and black. I think I'm like 6 cards total from completing the rainbow for both.
So you already have like the blue and the die cuts, and wow, okay.
Hey, I had actually been scooping those up beforehand, and then it makes it really easy. So I feel compelled, Scott, to.
Oh yeah, you probably got some in my single show.
Some eBay, others, but hit me up, Q3 Cards on the Instagram if you've got any of those.
Complete his rainbow.
Complete the rainbow. Complete Q3's Oscar Piastri rainbow. Anyways,
love to see it. And then after Lando Norris wins in Miami, because we know what happened. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna get him even cheaper. But you did allude to it, Scott, an even bigger, $12,000 for a non-rookie autograph Superfractor 101 is still a big deal. We asked people last time out, do you prefer card 41 or 195? Honestly, even in the comments that we've seen so far, but even before recording here, it's a little split. I think it's slanted a little bit more.
The comments are split. Yeah.
Well, there's like 2, but anyways, one was like, I don't.
Oh, I thought they're actually. Oh, was that in the episode that's gone out yet? I thought you were talking about like comments that we haven't even seen yet because we haven't.
Oh no. This episode did drop today.
Okay. So people go vote.
April 22nd. Yeah, go back to that episode. What 40? It would be 48. 48 has got that. So, anyways, what I have seen as of the time we're recording here, a couple people were indifferent. There is still a little bit of a stronger preference for what is on screen here, Scott. Card 41.
Yep.
Superfractor 1 of 1. Oscar Piastri.
Card 41. It is very popular, and this is. Sorry, Wilger. This is the best copy of it. There is no copy that is better than this card. The Pad Paraja is great. It looks awesome. It is not as good as the Superfractor. This is the best Oscar Piastri rookie card number 41 that will ever exist. And I'm telling you, this card is immaculate. I would be very surprised if it did not get a PSA 10. But this card is beautiful. We sold this card for $17,500, which eclipses the Futuro base rookie card. So at this point, the only Oscar Piastri non-Dynasty, Dynasty, I'm not even going to worry about, but the only cards that have sold for more than this card are the Superfractor Portrait, the Superfractor Portrait Auto, and all this is 2023 rookie cards, the Superfractor Portrait Autograph, and the Pad Paraja Portrait. So those are the only 3 cards that have sold for more than this, and those are the only 3 cards that ever will from 2023, because the freshest, we actually had the freshest pad on consignment, is not going to get this number. And then, I mean, the only other card that would maybe have a shot would be the Superfractor freshest, because everything else is locked down at this point. So we'll have to see. But yeah, I mean, this is an amazing sale. It was also a quick sale. I mean, we were just 2 episodes ago, we were talking about what we have for sale on consignment, and both of those Piastris were up there, and now they're already both sold. So pretty insane.
Just wow.
Oscar market is hot.
Oscar is the hot commodity right now.
That's true.
That's just a beautiful card.
Oh my god, immaculate centering looks great too. Just those golden discs, baby, with the 101. Beautiful.
I know D2 of Golden Poles likes to call them something else. It's not necessarily family friendly.
No. Although he did pull that card. He did pull the card. Granted, he pulled the original version of the card that was mangled. I don't know. I can neither confirm nor deny whether D2 had anything to do with it being mangled. But maybe that was for the best, because at the end of the day, it we pulled some strings, got it made at Topps again, and now it is a beautiful, pristine card that I think will get a PSA 10.
Very, very cool. All right, my friend. I know we're coming to everybody from the future as the time of this drops. I don't know where in the country or the world you and I will both be, but I mean, just let's reflect back really quickly on 50 episodes.
Yeah.
I mean, we came up with this idea on an airplane flying to PSA to drop off the Max Superfractor portrait for Julian, and it's been pretty cool. Like, I mean, obviously the growth has been really steady. It's been a lot steadier since we've had a lot
slow
of
and steady.
Slow and steady is good growth.
That's true.
I mean, Gary Vee talks about it all the time too. Like when he started out, like he did 3 or 4 years of content before he even got noticed. Hopefully it doesn't take
record.
That you just got to record. There's no perfect time. I know you've done like podcast appearances before too, talking about how like you got your start and how do you get started as a breaker. I mean, if you're watching this and viewing this and you're just like, I want to do that too. I want to start a Formula One podcast. I want to break. I want to do like what Hammertime Hits is doing, or just an incident, or something like that. The best thing to do is just do it. Like there's no perfect time to do any of this stuff. It literally, and time where we have the time tuner, because there's usually not time to do this stuff. But if you make the time, you are consistent, and
if you annoy Bryan enough, please record 3 episodes in 2 nights.
At the end of this, because we were going to try to get 4 in this short time period. Scott knows this too, and also Ben. The messages come flying like in my brain, and I have like I've talked before too, like ADHD, and like I was just like, stop, no more, just stop. I can't. My brain cannot process like all the different things that are flying around. So then Scott was nice enough to be all right. I'm going to spoon feed this to you. This episode is
for today. I did for this one for sure.
So I appreciate it. This is a lot of fun. I love talking Formula One with you. I know a lot of people love tuning in, and to 50 episodes, to 50 more, hopefully maybe 500 more at this rate. We're here.
100 will be cool. We'll have to do something special for 100.
We'll do like a giveaway for 100 or something.
We've done 50 in over a year. It took us over a year to get to 50.
14 months.
It's not going to take us that long to get to 100, especially at the rate. Like now we're trying to get to like 2 a week. It's not going to. Like we're gonna be at 100, I think, this year in 2025. And I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, we'll have to talk about, as we get a bit closer, something special to do. And you know what? It'll definitely have to involve all 21, all 30, or what are we at to? 33, all 33 listeners, viewers.
We must add. I thought we were at 32. We must have added one in last day or so.
Yeah, I think someone it was hilarious actually. Somebody messaged me, and they actually joined a break for the first time with me, and they were like, "Hey, just want to let you know, like I'm one of the 31, people that watch and everything." Yeah, it was really funny. But yeah.
I thought it's been also really cool too. Like even in our prior iteration with the cards formula, we had Chris and TC. Actually, he had the opportunity to meet my compatriot from New Hampshire.
I should have had the picture out. I'll show the picture next episode. Maybe we can. I'll show the picture. But yeah, I finally got to meet Letty's Collectibles. We'll have
and
to.
you know, I just realized too, in 50 episodes, we just had the first swear.
Was that me?
Yeah, it was you. That's all right.
What
We'll
did I
let it
say?
slide.
I didn't even.
Yeah, it was the S word.
Yeah. Well,
there goes.
If there was ever going to be someone swearing, it was certainly going to be me, and not you.
We both swear like a sailor most of the time, but
darn.
Darn. Gee Williker. As you were saying it, I'm like, no.
Yeah, there we go. It only took 50 episodes. There you go. That's how you celebrate your 50th episode.
It's like a PG-13 movie. You're allowed like one swear.
That's true. 2, actually.
Is it 2? Okay.
It is.
Well,
you can say it twice.
Our rule will be 1.
Yeah. We'll keep it at 1. And what you can do is you can go back, and you won't do it, but you can go back and edit it and like put in like one of those beeps that they do on Formula One, like on the radios, the team radios. You can put one over there, and then, you know, I can get fined. I'm going to get fined now. I'm fine. Great. FIA, you know, Formula One's over on me over my name. FIA is going to be all over me over saying the S word. What is this world coming to?
Well, I think what the world's coming to is the end of this podcast. So
I agree. I think so.
It's hard to tell what's coming up because we don't know when this is going to drop per se. It will be before Miami Grand Prix. So there's some really cool stuff coming. Stay tuned for more.
I mean, listen, we put out the, you know, we've got some good questions, and we just haven't had time to record and like look through the questions and then record and answer them. So we're taking note of all the questions that folks are asking. Continue to comment with questions you have. Send messages in the P1Castle Legends chat with questions you have. DM me or Brian specifically with questions you may have. And, you know, I think on the next episode, Brian, we're going to be talking about how Lando took sprint pole, won the sprint, pole won the race. Calling it.
Lock it down.
Boom. Lock it.
All right, my friend. Let's call a halt to this one.
That's right. All right, everybody. Well, we're going to be heading to different places of the world and all over the place. It'll be busy. We'll have to sneak in episodes when we're both back, too. We're probably going to have to do another double record. But in the meantime, collect your cardboard and keep it carbon.